This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. Their in-studio podcast experience allows you to record perfect audio and capture amazing video. That's all right here at the Mitt TV podcast studio in Romeo, Michigan. Contact them now via email for a free consultation and to schedule a studio visit at mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com. Frank, I'm so glad you joined us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We have this new kind of atmosphere in the podcast studios from where we used to be in the video production. And now it's so much easier just to bring somebody in and have a chat with them.
Right.
And each political year, the Mitt TV receives a lot of interest from the public about getting to know the candidates because we're all so busy. You know, we're like, we don't have time. We don't even know how many board members, trustees, what the supervisor does, what the treasurer does, unless you're somehow involved, you know, if you have problems with a bill or your water or your yard. And so each year we try to bring in the candidates to not only just give a campaign speech, but get to know them.
Okay.
Get to know who they are, get to know their families, how long they've been here, and, you know, how long you've been involved in things in Bruce Township. And you have a unique situation that you have worked as a treasurer for the last 4 years.
Correct, yeah.
In Bruce Township. Yep. So give us a little bit of history about you and your family and where you come from. And
well, originally born and raised in Detroit, and in 1990 moved out to Macomb Township. And it was probably 1995 where I went golfing at Heather Hills. A friend of mine took me, and I fell in love with Bruce Township when I went out there.
I love Heather Hills.
Yeah, I realized that there was multiple ways of getting there and leaving from there, and every time I went, I took a different route. And I told myself back then that one day if I get the opportunity, I'm moving out here. And sure enough, the opportunity came in 2017, bought a piece of property, built a house a year later, and moved in 2018. My house was completed in 2019, but that's when I moved in, but I bought the property in 17. And I love it. I loved it ever since. I loved the quiet rural atmosphere and on 5 acres. It was 2, but then I bought 3 more next door to me, so I made it 5. But right by Bruce Hills Golf Course.
Oh.
And I just simply love it out here. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I think everybody comes out here either for, you know, peaches or pumpkins in the fall or golf, because we do have some amazing golf here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And they stay. You know, they want to move in and then shut the door behind them.
Yeah.
So I know that, you know, with Bruce Township and everyone that's moving out to Bruce Township and gets involved in the day-to-day politics and running of the community always has one thing paramount in their mind, which is rule.
Yeah.
Let's keep it rule.
Yeah.
And I know that your position that you're running for, again, is treasurer of Bruce Township. And even you, I've spoken to you many times in the past with different projects, and you always have that mindset of staying rural. What brought you to, like, showing up and putting in your time and to be, you know, a treasurer of Bruce Township?
Well, in my past, I worked for 38 years at Ford Motor Company, and half of that time I spent as a UAW representative, serving the membership. And so I've always been in the serving role, I guess you would call it. And when I moved out here, I had just retired like 5 years prior to that. And I said, you know, I'd like to continue serving, and maybe I can serve the community. And the election came up, and a couple people asked me about running, and I gave it some thought, and I said, oh, might as well.
Why'd you pick treasurer to run for?
Probably because I don't know why I took it.
Because you're involved in a lot of other things. I mean, you always get involved in the community. You know, from the day you started with your treasurer position, I've seen you everywhere. You know, you're at the events, you're taking pictures, you're sharing posts, You're very active in your
Yeah.
community.
Yeah, I believe in trying to bring a community together.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the things that the tri-community area does.
Right.
Washington, Bruce, and Romeo. All the events that the Parks and Recs hold.
Mm-hmm.
They do a great job, an amazing job, in bringing everybody together.
Right.
Yeah.
And you and I've come together many times in the Tri-Community
Yep.
Association and promoting that and trying to keep it.
Yep.
And, you've always been active. And even when other politicians have come in years, back and forth with, no, we're not going to have a Tri-Community. Well, they've come and gone.
Right.
And we're still here.
And we're still here. Right. That's right. Yep.
Together,
Yep.
working together.
Yeah. That's what it's all about, working together.
Right.
Putting differences aside and being able to accept other people's opinions and just working together for the betterment of the community and
Right.
the people that live in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like right now, you're sitting here in the village of Romeo. We share streets, we share schools. There's people in Bruce Township and the village of Romeo that all vote together and have children in the same schools. And there's Washington Township, village of Romeo, Bruce Township, all as a tri-community.
Yep.
Because a lot of things come up, it's always easy to agree if it's just maybe an ordinance or something like that. But when it comes to money, tax dollars, the tax money that they're empowered to control, how have you brought that to your position in working with the village or Ray Township or the other communities surrounding Bruce? Because you're the treasurer.
Yeah.
You handle the money.
Yeah, we handle the money, but again, it's the people voted for all the millages
Mm-hmm.
and what the entities that we pay the money to.
Right.
So basically, it's
But I've seen you come across the board, table and work with the village of Romeo,
mhm.
to settle some disputes, to get through contracts and
Yep.
say, hey, because you've got the tapping issue,
Yep.
the sewer issue, and all of that.
Yeah, recently we just renegotiated a fire and advanced life support contract. And for the longest time, Bruce was subsidizing some of the cost
Mm-hmm.
of
Right.
providing that service to the village of Romeo.
I watch all the meetings.
Yeah, so we had to reach a happy median with the village of Romeo, and we did. We were very successful in reaching an agreement that was good for both sides.
Mm-hmm.
It gave the residents of Romeo the service that our outstanding firefighters and paramedics provide,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time we were able to increase the amount of the agreement by $300,000, which eliminated the subsidy from the Bruce Township's taxpayers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
And that took some time.
Yeah, it did. It took a while, but we got there.
Yeah.
And now we're trying to talk about some sewer issues that we
Right.
need.
That's always a big subject at
Yep.
almost every meeting.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, and it's difficult. You're dealing with the same people, and then 4 years down the road, we got new people.
There's somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that we find that difficult,
Yeah.
in our contracts and
Yeah.
stuff too. It's difficult when they keep on switching in and out, but and it's difficult as a treasurer, I'm
Yeah.
presuming.
Yeah. I mean, anything is difficult, but
In politics?
yeah, in politics. But the key is to continue being honest.
Mm-hmm.
You might not like what I have to say or hear what I have to say, but it's going to be the truth. It's going to be honest. I'm a firm believer in integrity. Integrity is something that is very important, because they say once you lose your integrity, you can't even buy it back.
Right.
So
Yeah, I like that saying.
that's important to me, integrity.
Is that one of the reasons why you decided to take time away from your life, your real life, to dedicate this kind of time that
Yeah.
you've had to take?
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of issues in Bruce Township.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we've been part of this community for a long time, and we've watched all the meetings and the ups and downs, and
hmm
you took over a difficult position with deficits and
Yeah.
issues and budget issues, and
Yeah. As
it's
a board, yeah, we faced a lot of challenges as a
hmm
board. We had we were in a deficit,
hmm
and we took the initiative to make a lot of unpopular decisions
right.
in order to cut some wasteful spending.
Those were some tough times.
Oh yeah, they
And
were.
you stepped into it when it was deep.
Yeah,
You know, there were a lot of problems when you walked
yeah,
onto the table.
yeah. But as a board, we were able to, make those tough decisions.
hmm
And the result of that, our general fund is now up by, it's in a surplus of 42%,
Wow,
which is it's
congratulations.
really good
That's
compared to
huge.
being at zero.
Right.
Um, we,
Where was it when you came in?
oh, it was,
Was
yeah, it was in the negative. I
it's in the
can't, yeah,
negative?
it was in the negative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we had a
Wow.
lot of, some of the things we had to do, like, we had to recapture like $190,000 worth of engineering fee review fees that were
hmm
never collected
Wow.
by developers, and we were able to collect that, put it to good use. Because that stuff was being paid out of the general fund,
Oh yeah.
and so this was money that was owed to the township, and we
hmm
took the initiative to collect it. We did that. We we saved approximately about $100,000 by streaming board meetings in house.
hmm
We in the treasurer's office there was a practice of mailing every single resident a tax receipt,
Right.
which costs us like $8,000 a year to do that. 98% of the people don't care about a receipt.
No.
You can get it online if you want it, or you
hmm
can use your top portion that we stamp paid. So if you want a receipt, you either come in and pay your taxes, or you can mail in a self-stamped address envelope,
Right.
and we'll mail it to you. So that saved us $8,000 a year. So all these little things added up,
Yeah.
and we had a lot of problems in the sewer and water district.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're fortunate to have our supervisor Mike Philbrook, who is very knowledgeable about
Yes.
that stuff, and that was something that we tackled because there were meters that weren't working properly.
Yep.
There were meters that were clogged with debris and not giving us the proper readings. So
hmm
we were wasting thousands of gallons a month that we couldn't account for, but yet we were paying for it.
Right.
So we tackled all those issues, and we had to make another tough decision of restructuring the water and sewer rates,
hmm
which again, it was not a popular decision,
No.
but we were constantly lending money from the general fund to the water and sewer at a tune of about $15,000 to $30,000 per month. So we once we corrected all those issues, we were able to stop
The
lending
bleeding.
money. Yep, the bleeding. So
hmm
we haven't lent any money to the sewer and water fund in over 9 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's huge.
yeah,
That's always been an
yeah,
issue.
yeah.
You know, when you watch the years tick on
Mm-hmm.
and you watch all the meetings and you see the same issues being brought up and
Yeah.
not addressed,
Right.
it's kind of nice to see those
Yeah.
issues being addressed.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you and Mike and the rest of the board have really championed those two
Yeah.
issues
Yeah.
and gotten them taken care of.
Mhm.
It's nice to see, guys.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
is nice to see. It's refreshing, and I also got to say we got a great staff at the
hmm
township. Our employees are outstanding. They step up and above to do anything that's asked of them.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they've been put through hell through the last
Oh yeah,
years.
yeah,
You know, up and down every time you
right.
get it, you know, new politicians and
Yeah,
running the offices and all that, but the workers are the same.
yeah, absolutely. I
You
mean,
know,
you cannot function
they're the
without
ones
them.
that
They're
run.
the backbone.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I have a deputy treasurer who's outstanding,
hmm
Bob Billick. He's a great
Oh yeah.
man, great individual, and he has integrity and
Yeah.
very hard worker and very intelligent too.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. You know, he's involved in everything too,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
with the village and
And the Parks and
green
Rec.
space
Yeah.
and Parks and Rec. So he and I work together a lot, and I think he also ran for a position about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And
Treasurer.
oh, it was treasurer? Okay. Oops. Backpedal. No,
That's
but you know
okay.
what I liked about him is that, he didn't win the position, he didn't win the vote, but he stayed involved.
Hmm.
And because so that that's a true public
Yeah,
servant.
exactly.
So,
Yeah,
and for him to say, okay, I'm going to now work with you,
yeah.
and you
Says
guys
a lot.
combined
Yeah.
says a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It
We
says a
make
lot
a
about
great
both of
team.
you.
Yeah, we make
Right.
a great team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was two women, I don't know if that was going to happen, but
I didn't say that.
I did. But no, it's nice to see. And, he does bring a lot to the
Yeah.
table. And with you guys being able to work as partners, I think you really have been successful.
Hmm. Yeah.
So is there, and I know that, like one of my standard questions, and it was because we kind of know each other and we know what you're doing. Um, is there anything that you're the proud of that you've brought to the table
Mhm.
as a treasurer?
I guess one thing as a board, I'm proud of the fact that the OPEG was at 0%.
I thought you might bring that up.
Yeah, and that's kind of that's also a rumor I want to dispel. It was stated that we're only at 9% and we should be at 40%. The 40% is something that the state would like to see you at.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's not mandated that you have to be at 40% because that OPEG stands for Other Post Employees Benefits.
Can you explain that a little bit for our
So
audience?
so that has to do with any of the employees that work for the township that are currently on the active rolls that you pay benefits to, like your health care, any retirement. If our employees no longer receive benefits after they retire, but there are some employees that retired in the past
Right.
that are
That were
still living.
grandfathered in.
Yep, they're grandfathered in, so there's benefits that we have to pay them.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you hire a new employee, like our firefighters, for example, they
Mm-hmm.
get hired, they get benefits, and they also have a pension. So so that 40%, the OPEC is a moving target.
Right.
It's not so based on if past employees passing away,
Mm-hmm.
then your percentages go up. But you hire new people, then it starts to drop back down. So
Right.
it's a moving target. But so it was at 0%. But when we took office, we created a trust,
Mm-hmm.
and we take $75,000 a year, 25 from the general, 25 from the fire account, and 25,000 from the ALS, Advanced Life Support
Okay.
System.
Mm-hmm.
And we put that in a trust. So that money every year is placed in there, and that's what is used to pay the post benefits for the employees.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So
we're at 9%.
the percentage is really relative on how you have to use it.
Yes.
Who you have coming in,
And who you have
have
leaving. Yes.
leaving.
So that is always a moving target.
Right.
We put together a 30-year plan, and the state is satisfied with that. And every now and then you have to show the state, what are you doing to keep this OPEG in check?
Mm-hmm.
And they've been satisfied with our performance.
And that's going to vary every
That'll
year
vary every
throughout
year.
the year.
Throughout the
So
year.
it might be higher,
Yep,
might be lower. But
exactly. But as long as we can continue contribute to that
Mhm.
trust, and we are proven to the state that we're making an effort to bring, to supplement it,
Right.
we're fine.
Good.
Yeah,
Good. That's a good
Yeah.
explanation.
yeah. And
And you got to talk about the deficit,
um,
balancing, because that's another thing to be proud of. I mean,
yeah,
the situation that we've watched Bruce Township be in, over the years, it certainly seems to be more healthy now.
yeah. Again, it all contributes to a lot of the wasteful spending that we
Mhm.
were doing. Do I feel that there's more room for some efficiencies? Yeah, a little bit,
Sure.
but not much more.
What would you improve if you had a magic wand and you were able to get the board to work together and in a direction? What would you work on?
Um, that's a good question. I
You know,
guess,
I like to
yeah,
throw the
yeah, I
wand
know you
once
do.
in a
You
while.
like to surprise. You like to throw some grenades.
Because I know you're always thinking, you're always thinking
Yeah.
about bettering it.
Yeah. Well, I guess with efficiencies, A lot of times it don't have to be something big. It can be something small, but as it becomes a habit,
Mm-hmm.
for example, we talked about our receipts for taxes.
Mm-hmm.
We stopped doing that. So what happens is a lot of times people come in with their tax payment or their water bill payment,
Mm-hmm.
and they're coming in there because they want a receipt
Right.
most of the time.
Most of the time, if
Yeah.
they're going to come in.
Yes.
Right.
So this is something that Bob and I have been doing lately. So if they come in with both portions of their bill,
Mm-hmm.
we rip the bottom half, which we keep with their check,
Right.
and then the top half we have a stamp. We just stamp it paid and give it to them. Instead of
That's what Washington Township
yeah.
does.
So we
Yeah.
were printing one every time somebody came
Oh,
in. So we stopped doing that. Again, paper is costly. Ink for
sure.
printers is costly. So every little bit helps. At the end of the year, you do those little things, you start seeing a profit.
Right. Right. What's that quote? It's the little things.
It's the little things, yeah, that make it big, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, and another thing that I'm very proud is the cemeteries.
Right.
The cemeteries, I started, I kind of took them over about 3 years ago, I guess it was. And with the help of my deputy treasurer and volunteers, residents, and
Mm-hmm.
high school students, we have 2 cemetery days a year, once in the spring, once
Yeah.
in the winter. And we go out there and we've cut unwanted brush and trimmed trees, and removed brush along the fence line.
Well, Richard Corey just made a post about that
Oh, did he? I didn't
last
see it.
week.
Okay.
In his memories,
Okay.
and he was saying, that was one of the
Oh,
most
yes, yes.
rewarding things
Yeah,
to get involved
yeah,
with because the students came out, the football
yeah,
team came out,
yeah.
everybody
That was
showed up
yeah,
as a
that was
community.
yeah, that was when they vandalized
Yeah.
the Goodrich
Yep.
Cemetery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so many people came together.
yeah, it's
That
awesome.
was a good thing
Yeah,
to see.
and these cemeteries, I mean, they're old. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they date back to the 1800s.
Yeah.
They're historic.
Yep.
Some of these cemeteries, like Goodrich, for example, they have some Civil War heroes
Yeah.
in them.
Yep.
So we've taken a lot of pride. I'd say we've
Mm-hmm.
taken a lot of
Sure.
pride in it. We've gone out there on Bob and I have gone out there on weekends, on our days off, and have done a lot of things as far as, like I said, we even replaced the fence
Right.
we took on Armada Center Road. We took the Bruce Armada Cemetery. We took the fencing down
Mm-hmm.
with the help of a volunteer. His name is Richard Wiegand, a friend of mine,
Sure.
neighbor. He came out with his tractor, and he took that fence down. We refurbished the poles,
Mm-hmm.
the top rails, the posts, and then we bought new fencing, black vinyl fencing. We put along it and strung it back up, and it looks brand new.
It always
It
makes you
looks
feel
great.
better when you
Yeah,
drive through the
yeah,
community and you see your cemeteries
hmm
well kept.
yeah,
Because if they're not, you get the feeling that no one cares
yeah,
anymore.
exactly.
You know,
Right,
and
and
it does affect you.
yeah, and those cemeteries are property of the township.
Yeah.
And just like a homeowner, you need to manicure your property and keep it looking nice.
Mm-hmm.
Goodrich Cemetery is one of our oldest cemeteries. We put fencing all around that. Myself and Bob started a charity called the Stewards of Bruce Township
Right.
Cemeteries.
Yeah. You guys just had some fundraising this
Yeah,
summer.
we did a golf outing,
Yeah.
and
How'd that go?
it went great. We
Good.
had probably about 50 golfers.
Wow.
We teamed up with the firefighters this year.
Mm-hmm.
Locals, Bruce Township Fire Local 4076, and there was a lot of excitement over it. And I think next year we'll probably double in size.
Oh yeah, it takes a couple
Yeah,
years.
yeah. But we received a $5,000 grant from the Fort County Community
Oh
Foundation
yeah.
for fencing, and we put fencing all around the Goodrich Cemetery. We totally fenced it in, and it looks and so the the three sides are done with cyclone fencing.
Mm-hmm.
The front is done with that black aluminum fencing that
Oh
was
yeah.
donated by my neighbor,
Right.
Richard
Yeah.
Wiegand, and
They do a lot for the
yeah,
community.
yeah.
That's good,
So yeah,
good
it's
people.
yeah, it's so they're
Well, that's
looking up,
what you need.
yeah,
You need to bring
working
in,
together,
right,
yeah,
working together.
yeah,
And it's not always the treasurer's position to do that kind of thing, but you go out and get your hands dirty.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
you got
I
the
love
shovel, the
gardening, right?
gloves. Yeah,
Yeah.
the garden gloves and everything.
Yeah.
That's right up your alley. So, if you're voted in for another 4 years, what do you want to do in those 4 years? What do you want to better? What do you want to bring to the table? What do you want to change?
Um, I would like to see our industrial quarter on 33 Mile continue to grow
Mm.
because that's important for our sewer and water district
Right.
to keep our costs down.
Mm-hmm.
It would also build a bigger tax base,
Right.
which is important for the schools
Mm-hmm.
because that's where most of our money goes. I know people don't like paying taxes, but
Oh,
it goes
talk to
for
me about it.
education. Yeah, right. So that's
I
where,
pay taxes in the village and
yeah,
Washington.
right.
So,
So you
woo,
get
those
get
school
3 times a
taxes.
year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But that does bring down the cost
yes.
also.
Yeah.
So,
I'd like to see that, and again, just see the community work together
hmm
and just continue for it to be a better place and have the events like we've always had and
right.
continue them to grow.
Yeah. Yeah. And through Parks and Rec, you know, you guys have always had a good relationship with Parks and Rec and
Hmm.
always, been the people because of the village situation and not having the amount of representatives and everything.
Right.
It's always been, rewarding to watch those struggling meetings. And see Bruce Township try to help
Yeah.
and try to, support the village because it didn't have the voice.
Hmm.
So it's been really nice to see that turn around now
Yeah.
and become a much healthier organization, a
Exactly.
much healthier board, and your counterpart has had a big position in doing that and changing it,
Yeah.
turning it around. So I think the tri community will also become healthier then because
I
we
agree.
all love our parks and rec.
Absolutely. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
I got 3 granddaughters that my daughter takes to all the functions that they
hmm
provide and they have a blast,
Right.
Yeah,
They do it so well.
they do. My
They
my youngest granddaughter plays soccer over there at Glitcher Park.
hmm
I go there and when I'm there, I just look around and I'm like, this could be such a beautiful place.
Yeah.
I mean, it is
It
beautiful.
is.
It is big,
Yeah.
and it could become a much better place.
Right. And I would just listen to their last meeting. They have big plans
They
for
have
that
big
park. They have a
plans. Yeah.
new statue or um, sculpture
Yeah.
going in and all that. So
Yeah.
I think we're going to see some great
Yeah,
things.
there's some great things that are coming to our Parks
hmm
and Rec, especially Glitcher, and I look forward to seeing those things.
Yeah, we need our green spaces.
Yeah,
We need our
absolutely.
parks.
Yeah.
That's what people come here for.
Hmm.
They don't not everybody can have a 5 acre, 3 acre yard,
Right.
especially in the tight areas. As Bruce, hits the village, all those people, they need green spaces to
Absolutely.
raise your children,
Yeah.
put your feet on the ground,
For kids to
the
run around and
ground.
play. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So before you talk to your voters and tell them why you want them to vote for you in November, is there anything else that you would like to address, bring to the table, let people know about that we haven't covered?
No, no.
Good, then we did our job.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to let people know that I consider myself pretty down to earth and a respectful individual, and treat people with respect and with honesty and integrity, and they could always come to my office, walk
Mhm.
in, call me on the phone. I'm always available 24/7 to talk to them or address any issue or any explanation they need on anything.
And when you're not being seen in the Bruce Township offices, you're being seen around the communities.
Yep.
And, I know a lot of people, you're very approachable.
Yeah.
So a lot of
Thank you.
people will just walk up.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard,
Thank you. Yeah.
to be out there because people will snag you
Yeah.
and start complaining
Yeah.
and all that. But
You know what? I look at it this way. I don't mind because it's when they stop doing it
yeah,
that you got to start worrying because usually you're 6 foot under then.
right, right.
Yeah.
So you have someone running for that position also. What do you have that they don't have?
Um, I don't know, to be honest with you, because I don't
Mm-hmm.
know the other individual. I just want to wish him luck, and, and that's it.
It's a good way to be.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll get to know you better in the next 4 years. And thanks, Frank, for
Yep.
coming.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you
And
for having me.
we'll see you on the ballot, Frank
Okay.
DiGiorgio, on
Sounds good.
November 5th.
November 5th,
All right.
Tuesday. Yep.
All right. See you later.
Thank you. Take
Bye.
care, Ruth.